All right, thank you guys. Welcome to the show. You know the deal. If you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please feel free to do that right now as well. I greatly appreciate it. And with that, guys, we're going to start off with the Georgia Bulldogs squaring off against the South Carolina Gamecocks. That's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off. South Carolina's -5 at home. Total's 158 and a hook. Now, the Gamecocks are on a 3-game losing streak. But before we dive into some more free content right here, I just have to quickly remind you, once again, we're 2-0 in our last 2 daily best plays on patreon.com/Brock Page. We're also 4-1 in our last 5 daily best plays in that same category. And if you want to access today's daily best play on that Patreon site, it's only going to cost you just $1.99 when you click the link in the description section below. Now, guys, we currently have a community of over 1,150 paid members who are signed up and active on that page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. And once again, guys, the Gamecocks are on a 3-game losing streak. Just 2-4 against the number in their last 6. South Carolina is shooting just 40% from the field on their home court. And they also find themselves allowing 77 points a game. Now they're taking on a Georgia squad who won 2 out of their last 3. And they're ranking the top 20 in the nation in offensive field goal percentage on the road. The Bulldogs are averaging 80 points a game when they travel. And they're hitting 50% of their field goals in that same category. Severe Wheeler scoring 14 points a game for the Bulldogs, 3 boards and 8 assists for the sophomore from Houston. Meanwhile, Toumani Camara is scoring over 13 points a game himself, along with 7 rebounds and a couple assists. Camara has also recorded 20 total steals on the season as well, certainly getting the job done on both ends of the court. Now, total-wise, the Bulldogs are 6-1 to the over in their last 7. South Carolina's 5-1 to the over in their last 6 themselves. We're going to start off with the video like we normally do with an underdog. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Georgia Bulldogs +5 and the over 158.5. That line stinks to high heavens, by the way. But anyway, before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Wednesday's college basketball action here. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. The weekend is right around the corner. Congratulations, you made it halfway through. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free content, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are 2-0 in our last 2 daily best plays on patreon.com/Brock Page. We're also 4-1 in our last 5 daily best plays in that same category. And you can actually unlock today's daily best play for just $1.99 when you click the link in the description section below. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you're going to get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. So once again, when you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you're going to instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. The cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and my Patreon site, well, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on just 4 to 5 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success wagering on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus, betting on the entire slate of games side and total like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. Now, guys, we currently have a community of over 1,150 paid members who are signed up and active on that page. So once again, guys, if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'd love to have you. I strongly recommend it. And the link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. And with that, guys, we got to move. Enough with the commercials. Enough with the infomercials. Let's go ahead and get into some free content. That's what we're here for. So for our next game, we're going to take a look at Penn State versus Ohio State, and that's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Value City Arena. Now, Ohio State's the 7-point favorite. Number's 146.5. The Buckeyes are 7-1 straight up at the Value City Arena, nearly 79 points a game they're averaging on their home court. Dwayne Washington's scoring over 15 a night along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. The 6'3 junior is also making over 89% of his free throws. Meanwhile, E.J. Liddell is also scoring 15 points a game himself along with 7 rebounds. Now, the Buckeyes are taking on a Nittany Lions squad who's lost 5 out of their last 7, and they shoot just 38% from the field when they travel. Penn State's also lost 4 out of their 5 road games on the season. And when it comes to the total in this one, 2 out of Penn State's last 3 stayed under the number. Ohio State's 5-3 to the under at home. I'm going to lean toward the Ohio State Buckeyes -7 and the under 146.5. All right, next matchup I have for you guys, it is going to be Creighton versus Seton Hall. 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Prudential Center. Creighton's -1.5 on the road, totals 147 and a hook. Now, the Blue Jays have won 7 out of their last 9 ball games. Top 20 in the country in defensive field goal percentage on the road. The Blue Jays are holding their opponents to just 38% shooting from the field in that category. Creighton's also averaging 81 points per contest. Denzel Mahoney, is scoring over 15 points a game along with 5 boards and a couple assists. Mahoney's also got himself 19 total steals on the season as well. Meanwhile, Marcus Zagorowski scoring nearly 15 points a night himself, 4 boards and 5 assists for the 6'2 junior. Now they're taking on a Seton Hall club who's dropped 2 out of their last 3, with one of those losses in that span coming against Creighton in blowout fashion. That was an 89-53 final in that one. A 36-point victory in that contest. Now, the Pirates are allowing nearly 72 points per contest, and they shoot just 33% from beyond the arc. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, 3 out of Seton Hall's last 4 did stay under the posted number. They're also 70% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, 5 out of Creighton's last 7 stayed under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Creighton Blue Jays -1.5 and the under 147 and a hook. All right, next contest, it is going to be Ole Miss versus Arkansas, 8:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Now, the Arkansas Razorbacks are -4.5 at home, totals 141. Real quick, I feel like, did we talk about this game already? Georgia, I know they played Arkansas. I don't know. Anyway, guys, Ole Miss, Arkansas, 8:30 p.m. East. The Arkansas Razorbacks are -4.5 at home, totals 141. The Razorbacks are 10-1 straight up on their home court, 87 points a game they're scoring at the Bud Walton Arena. Arkansas is in the top 10 in the nation in scoring, top 10 in offensive rebounding. Now, Moses Moody scoring over 17 points a game along with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Meanwhile, J.D. Notae scoring 14 a night himself along with 3 rebounds and a couple assists himself. They're taking on an Ole Miss squad who's dropped 5 out of their last 8 ball games, and they make just 26% of their three-pointers on the road. Now, the Rebels score just 64 points a game when they travel, and they lost 3 out of their last 5 road games. Now, total-wise, Ole Miss saw their last 2 straight stay under the line, 80% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Arkansas saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the number themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Arkansas Razorbacks -4.5 and the under 141. All right, next contest, it is going to be Wisconsin versus Maryland, 9 p.m. Eastern start time at the, the Xfinity Center. Now, the Wisconsin Badgers, they're -2.5 on the road, totals 128 and a hook. And if you like the Maryland Terrapins in an upset at home here, they're plus $1.30 for some money line cash. Now, the Terps are just 3-5 against the spread on their home court this season. They also failed to cover the number in 4 out of their last 6 qualifying ball games at any location. They're taking on a Wisconsin team who's 7-3 straight up in their last 10, and they rank in the top 25 defensively in points allowed. The Badgers are also holding their opponents to just 40% shooting from the field. Demetric Trice is scoring 15 points a game for the Badgers, along with 3 rebounds and 4 assists. Meanwhile, Micah Potter is getting a dozen a night himself, along with 7 rebounds. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 4 out of Wisconsin's last 7 got over the posted total, throwing out the Northwestern game. Meanwhile, the Terrapins are 6-2 to the over on their home court themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Wisconsin Badgers, -2.5, and the over 128.5. All right, next contest, not on our big screen. We're actually not talking about Boise State here. It's not on our board, but I do want to talk about Louisville versus Clemson. That's going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Now, the Clemson Tigers are -2 at home, numbers 129 flat. Clemson's on a 3-game losing streak, and they also went just 1-7 against the spread in their last 8. They're one of the worst covering teams in college basketball over the past couple of weeks or so. Now, the Tigers are scoring just 66 points a game this season. They're taking on a Louisville squad who's won 6 out of their last 8 themselves, and they connect on 47% of their offensive field goals. Carlik Jones is scoring nearly 19 points a game along with 6 boards and 5 assists. Meanwhile, sophomore guard David Johnson is also scoring 13 a game himself, along with 6 boards and 4 assists. Now, total-wise, Louisville's 4-1 at the over in their last 5. Meanwhile, Clemson saw their last 6 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Louisville Cardinals +2 and the over 129. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be St. John's versus DePaul, 9 p.m. East at the Wintrust Arena. DePaul's the 1-point favorite at home. Total's 153. Now, DePaul lost 5 out of their last 7 ball games, just 2 and 3 straight up at home this season. The Blue Demons scored just 68 points a night at the Wintrust Arena, and they lost 5 out of their last 6 conference games. Now, they're taking on a St. John's team who successfully covered the point spread in their last 4 straight, 3-1 straight up in those 4 covers. The Red Storm scores 80 points a game, and they've taken 14 out of their last 20 meetings against DePaul. So if you're into historical trends, it's certainly not looking good for the Blue Demons. Now, Julian Champagnie is scoring 20 points a game for St. John, 7 boards and a couple assists a night for the 6'8 guard. Champagnie's also recorded 23 total steals and 18 blocks. This is certainly a high-profile prospect here for the NBA. Now, Greg Williams Jr. is also scoring 11 a night along with 2 rebounds and 3 assists. Williams has also recorded 27 total steals and double-digit blocks as well. Now, total-wise, DePaul saw their last 6 straight stay under the number, 80% to the under officially as the home team. I'm going to lean toward the underdog St. John's Red Storm +1 and the under 153. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 2-0 in our last 2 daily best plays on that website, 4-1 straight up in our last 5 picks in that same category. I like the Georgia Bulldogs +5 over 158.5, Ohio State -7 under 146.5, Creighton -1.5 under 147 and a hook, Arkansas -4.5 under 141. Wisconsin -2.5 over 128 and a hook. Louisville +2 over 129. And before I give you our next and final game for the show, one final reminder that you can access today's daily best play on Patreon for just $1.99 by clicking the link in the description section below. Please feel free to smash that thumbs up button right now if you enjoyed today's video. You can also subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. I'm going to lean toward the St. John's Red Storm +1 and the under 153. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into our shout-out portion of the show here, our top 10 commenters over the past couple of days or so. So with that, shout-out goes to Bitch K, Bryant Dela Cruz, Chris Barker, Dory Toss, Curtis Harper, Dylan Kaufman, Sports Gambling Daily, Kirill Salachoff, Young Norm, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Peace-Blamatic. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today on Patreon, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up and first of every month following that. Also, keep in mind, if you end up getting a package here today, all the cheaper memberships are going to be included with your purchase. So, for example, if you get the $4.99 package here today, all the cheaper memberships that are on that website are included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.